Hello, lovely, and welcome to this episode. I want to talk about how much should you charge for your coaching program? This is a question that comes up constantly. And I know I certainly grappled with it and struggled with it at the beginning. And so I want to help you to kind of really understand exactly what you need to factor in when you are charging for your coaching program. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Yasmin Vorajee. I'm the creator of Tiny Time Big Results, and I help solopreneur coaches, consultants, experts to grow a profitable 20-hour week business. One of the ways that I do that is helping you to attract premium clients so you can charge more for your services and your offers, and you can work fewer hours. So let's get into this because this is a question that when I'm scrolling and looking at chats and conversations and threads, this comes up a lot. And people often think, oh, well, such and such a body is charging X amount, so I will charge this. Right. And so I just want to help you to kind of have a really solid foundation for your pricing strategy, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are pricing from a place of clarity, not ego. Okay. So when I talk about premium, sometimes people kind of get a little bit cringe and they might go, "Oh, I'm not just going to add a zero to my current price." That's not what this is about. If you've been in my world for any length of time, you know I'm always talking about integrity and making sure that you are actually delivering what you said you'll deliver. We have to really raise the standard of the work that we do. So that for me is a given, right? We just do that anyway, right? So everything that we do in our business is full of integrity, right? We're building valuable businesses, right? So, but when you price from place of ego, it really is a dark rabbit hole that you do not want to go down, right? Because then you hear all the price what you're worth. No, no, you'll never hear me say that. And if you have heard me say that, then I beg your forgiveness, right? Because you're priceless, right? So when people say like charge what you're worth, well, why are we bringing our own worthiness into the equation? That's not what this is about. We're going to take a business approach to this, right? So when you're thinking about your coaching program, I want you to be thinking in very specific strategic terms. So we're going to leave the ego out of this. We're going to leave the emotion out of this because we want to make sure that we're pricing from a really clear place, right? So there's a couple of things that I want you to think about. First of all, I want you to think about what is the outcome that someone is going to get from working with you, right? This is not about being fluffy or, like kind of like head in the cloud stuff. I want you to be really clear because if you want to attract premium clients, then you have to solve premium problems and create that premium solution, right? So this can't just be, I'll help you to live your best life, right? Yeah, I don't know what that means, right? You've got to be really specific and tangible, and it's got to feel like it's high value for your dream client. They've got to feel like they really want it. Okay, that's the first thing. I'm always talking about outcome. And, when people kind of like sit there thinking, oh, what am I going to charge? What am I going to charge? And they kind of go, well, this is coaching or this is consultancy. Don't get confused with the modality of what you're doing, like what modality you use, whether you're coaching, whether you're consulting, because really and truly, you're probably doing a mix of things when you're having your sessions, right? So we want to keep it nice and clean. So think about the outcome. What is someone going to get when they work with you? Okay. The next thing I want you to think about is what are your costs? I remember this was a few years ago now, but I remember someone posting in a group that I was a member of, and they were saying, like, I'm going to charge 2,000 for a 12-month program. And it sounded like there was so much that was going to be delivered in this program. And I said, that's way underpriced. I said, because you're not even taking into account your costs, because there was a couple of VIP days in there. And so it's like, okay, so you're going to probably use a venue. Do you have higher costs? There's so many things that you need to be thinking about. And costs is one of them, right? You want to make sure that you are costing for profit, like charging so that you can actually have a healthy profit margin. Because if you don't, and you're like, I just broke even there, or made a loss, which is not what you want at all. So you've got to be taking into account your costs. The next thing I want you to think about is the value of the program. Like, so if you're charging 2K for something, right? Is it like 5 times the return on investment that they're going to get. Now, it's not always about the money return on investment, but I actually, do you know what? I believe that most things you can tie back to some kind of a monetary. But irrespective of that, I want you to think about, like, if someone has been really struggling with their weight and they're just like, I just really need to lose this weight for whatever reason, right? And you're going to help them to get that result. They're going to lose half a stone or 2 stone or whatever it might be. And you're like thinking, what is the value of that for that person? What is the return on investment that they're going to get, right? If somebody's really struggling with their money, they're like, I don't, I'm money's coming in, it's going out, I don't know what to do, there's, it's a good bit coming in, but I don't know how to invest. And you're coming in and saying, I'm going to show you how to really manage your money in a powerful way so that you've got savings, you've got investments, you've got that rainy day fund. It's very rainy right now. You've got your fun account, and somebody comes in and they're like, oh my God, like in 12 months time, my view of my finances is so different. My financial outlook is so much healthier. You can see the value, right? So you want to really hone in. You've got to be able to see the value before anybody else will, right? Because if you're not sold on the value, they won't be sold on the value either, right? Like I said before, we are not basing your pricing on ego. That is a sticky, sticky place to be, and you don't want to be there, right? And the last thing that I want to say is be mindful of what the market is charging. So, like, what are other people out there doing? But do not let this be the box that you that get hemmed into. Don't let that be the limiter. Because if you're looking at somebody and maybe they've been in business for longer than you, and you're like, well, they're only charging 3K. I couldn't possibly charge more than that. Stop right there. Please do not fall into that trap, right? You're very different. They're different, right? Maybe they have their own issues around the value and that they're not convinced on the value, right? Do not let that be a limiter on what you're going to charge. Absolutely be mindful of what is going on around you, what the market is offering, and what the market can bear. But remember, there's always going to be people out there who are looking for you, looking for your solution, right? So you want to make sure that you're charging according to all the things that I've said in this video, right? And that you're really comfortable. And I think that's a really important point. You've got to be in alignment with what you are pricing, right? You have got to be in alignment. Like for you, it's got to feel like this is the right price. It can't feel too low because then you will feel like, oh, it's too cheap. And you're actually repelling ideal clients because you're like, I wouldn't buy this, it's too cheap, right? And on the same, on the other hand, really, if you're thinking, oh God, that's too expensive, no one's going to buy, hello, you're going to repel those clients as well. So you want to find that lovely Goldilocks middle of the road approach that's right for you. If you feel like it's too low, right? But you think, I think I could sell this, then great. And then just increase it in increments, right? It is about being in alignment with your pricing. This is about being in alignment with the value that you're offering. This is about you being in love with what it is that you're actually offering to someone and knowing that you can help people to create outcomes. You're not guaranteeing results, but you are saying that come and work with me. I've got this experience, I've got this expertise, I've got these skills. I can help you to achieve the desired outcome. And that is my opinion on how you should base your your coaching programs, right? I give you an example. My Premium Client Accelerator is a 90-day program, but I know that when you come out of that program, you're going to be really clear on exactly the value that you're offering. You're going to have a super dialed in message that really dials into what your ideal client is looking for. So you're going to walk away with that message. You're going to walk away with that offer. You're going to walk away with sales assets that do the selling for you, right? And you're going to walk away with the identity that's upgraded as the person who easily charges premium and easily attracts clients. That's it. Like that for me, it's a Premium Client Accelerator. And I know like what I charge for it, it actually is worth like at least 5-10 times that, right? But you've got to be convinced because after all, the first sale is always going to be you. If you'd like to know more about the Premium Client Accelerator, click the link below. If you'd like to find out more about how we could work together, then click the link below to book a call and let's have that conversation. And I will see you the next time.